Hey vaping fellas, look what I found, my AC/DC shirt. Today we got the Evic VT with the Ego 1 Mega Tank in. I got it lent by a friend of mine who's sitting in the background, and we're gonna take a look at it today. Basic stats are we got 60 watts maximum wattage, 5000 milliampere hours, and temperature control in nickel and titanium mode, which will work up to 315 degrees Celsius, or let me see, I think it's always the same, like 400 degrees Fahrenheit, not quite sure. 400 and 510 and 600 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's take another drag and then we go up close. I got a little bit to say about this thing because I'm a mechanical mod guy, but you will hear from me. So here we are up close. So first let's take off the atomizer because we don't need that at first. Standard grip tip on the Ego 1 Mega Tank. I think I got a little bit different one with mine, but doesn't matter. So 5 clicks to shut it on or off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There it is. So we got 300 degrees Celsius now set with a optimal watts of 59.1 and no resistance because there is no atomizer on there. I'm hoping that this thing will cool off so we can show the kind of locking feature with these things, but who knows. So to enter the menu, you press the button 3 times. 1, 2, 3. There we are in there. Now I can change now from Ti, which is titanium, to power and nickel by turning this little thingy up here to the left. If I turn it to the right, I go one value down, and that is the watts that we are firing with. Now I can put this up all the way to 60 watts, which is the maximum obviously, and then I go one down, and this is the atomizer resistance, which is now locked because there's no atomizer on there. Next thing is down here. You can exchange the battery symbol to a puff counter and a vaping time. So basically how much you've vaped on it. I think it's kind of senseless. And that's basically it. Let's change it back to battery because it makes the most sense to me right now. Then press the fire button to put everything in. Now we get something which is called a stealth mode, which will basically mean every time you fire, this thing won't light up. That is basically holding the fire button and then turning to the left. And then stealth mode on. Now let's just wait. Oh no, let's put on the atomizer so I can show you. And that is one of the quirks I found with this thing. The 5/10 rating is a little bit different. I've recently vaped, and as you can see, display is not on. And there was a burnt hit, by the way. So, well, temp control with titanium wire in the nickel mode. Let's change it back, okay? 1, 2, 3. That was apparently 5 clicks. 1, 2, 3. And then let's put it back to titanium mode, just like this. Okay, now if I hold the firing button and then press to the right, to the left again, stealth mode is off. Now another thing is that I can lock all the values. So I pressing the fire button, hold the button to the right, and then you can see key lock. So we can't change any value on here because it will just say key lock. Take it off. No, it's not off. Now it's off. Okay, so let's go over the hardware actually, not really the software. This is a silicone sleeve. You should get it with yours. If you're not, I think you can buy it everywhere. So on the bottom, we got written 5 volts, which can be charged with 1 amp. That is basically The USB charger over here, that's a micro USB, those things are charging with 1 amp standard. 5000 milliamp hours, which is written here. You get your CE logo and do not throw it in a garbage bin, which you shouldn't do with a new mod. Joytech logo right here, you get the red racing stripes and the black enclosure. I think it looks pretty dope, but if I'm being completely honest, I think the white one with the baby blue stripes looks just over the top crazy. Okay, USB port on this side, as I already said. Now on the bottom you see there are venting holes, and that is because this thing does not take 8650s. It gets charged with via micro USB with a built-in battery. On the top we have our 510 threading, and this is different. Okay, if I put on my atomizer, it can wiggle around because this is conic down, so you have some kind of cone shape downwards. So if I'm starting to screw this in right now and it wiggles around, I may have problems to screw it in. Keep that in mind. I think it is not adjustable, but let me check real quick. It's one of my cool screwdrivers. I don't know whether that should be a spring or... No, it's fixed. If you are trying to push on this too hard, you will definitely destroy something. I mean, it will go down a little bit, but it's fixed. And that is a thing I don't like about Joytech parts, okay? They all have this fixed 510. If I'm taking another atomizer, just like... let me look. I got no one around here. But, for example, my Doge 26650, it got a really long 510. It does not sit flush at all. You got your serial number up here and your switchy lever. And this thing turns left and right, so you can adjust your values, just like this. It's gimmicky, and I don't really know if I like it, but, well, I can handle it, so it is not too bad. Now, let's go to the atomizer, which is currently still full, so I am popping the drip tip off, which is this thing here. It seems pretty wide bore, but it tapers down a little bit. But actually, no, it does not taper down. Whoa, that's cool. That's improved. My old Ego 1 had one which tapered down. So it's kind of wide bore-ish. Peak insulator on the bottom, and it's metal. This thing does heat up though. Okay, so if you get one, you might want to have a glass drip tip or something if your tank gets too hot. Now, on the bottom right here you have your red coil, which is, let me see, I think it's titanium wire. Come on, get off there. It won't come out. I know for a fact that this is titanium wire and nickel wire got a blue O-ring. That's basically how you separate them, and cancel got a black O-ring. Right in here, your standard tank, just take your bottle, put it in there and drop your juice down. That's basically it. You can unscrew this thing and then put a new one in, pop it right on again. As you can see on the temperature control heads, this is a pretty wide bore, so there's a lot of air traveling through there, and I can definitely feel that. My old Ego 1 with CLR heads had kind of the same airflow, and that were CLR heads. My vertical coil heads did not have a good airflow at all, so I changed to the CLR heads once I could rebuild them. So let's put it together back again, and then we can get back up, vape on it, and talk a little bit on it. And yes, there was a pretty bad twist for 20 impression. And we are back up. Okay, so let's start with the overall design. I think the design is cool. The black is quite nice. The red stripes are a matching color. They're not too funky, they're not too bright. The racing stripe then is something that really appeals to me, because as we learned from Top Gear, you can add at least 300 horsepower with a good paint job. Same thing right here. Without the paint job, it just got 30 watts. Okay, that was a joke. The Ego 1 Mega Tank. I love this tank. I think the CLR heads are quite cool. They're the best rebuildable coil heads I've come across. But it heats up. It really heats up. And that's the problem, because my my friend standing right behind the camera often had the problem that some spitback came in his mouth and burned his tongue and something not quite nice, trust me. Next thing is battery life. This display is quite huge, and that means it drains so much battery. It is unbelievable. I mean, we're talking about at least 500 milliamp hours less of your battery, or 1000 milliamp hours. Not cool, trust me. This rotating thingy at the top, it is different than what I'm used to, but I quite like it. It's not something that I was used all day because I always got the feel that it could break off or something. I like the button things. Same goes for the firing button. It's a tactile button that is different for me. I'm a fully mechanical box mod user. And the only really comfortable position I've found you can hold this in is like this. And that is, I like to turn my box mods around sometimes. I don't know why, but I like it. And like this, it is not too comfortable. I like it more this way, so kind of a trigger finger style. Okay, so let me bump up the temperature a little bit. 310 degrees Celsius. Now, as you can see, the vapor production is not too good. It is okay, but it's not too good. And for me, I'm a cloud chaser, that's definitely nothing for me. I'm not going to make it a con though, because I know with 60 watts on CR head, for somebody who's either new to vaping or just tries to make the step from a vaping pen to a box mod or just a mod with a tank, this thing puts out quite a lot of vapor, and that is something that I won't take away from people who want this thing. It does put out a lot of vapor, but it's definitely not a cloud chaser, obviously. Next thing I have recognized that is kind of decreasing in temperature sometimes, and sometimes it jumps up. I don't know whether it's a fault of the device or the tank or whatever. It's just something that jumps around a little bit. I think it's my not understanding of technical box mods. Okay, so is this thing newbie friendly? Yes, it definitely is. You have the micro USB board, that is a cool thing. Everybody got a micro USB cable lying around. Otherwise you're an Apple user like me, and I only have 50 pins and lightnings lying around. But if you're using basically every Android and Windows phone, you have the kind of micro USB laying around. That's a cool thing. You can charge it everywhere: McDonald's, your friend's house, your own house, wherever you want. It is quite small, so it fits every pocket. That's nice. The tank, though, it gets hot, and that might be something that newbies can't handle. And that is something I have to give Joytech a downside there. That's big con. Although I like the Ego 1 tank. I really like it, but it gets hot. So it's kind of like in the middle, okay? I like it and I don't like it. It gets hot, yes, but I like it. And the CLR heads are definitely the best rebuildable coil heads out there. Okay, let's wrap this thing up. Would I buy it? Well, as a newbie, yes. As a kind of intermediate vapor, yes. It gets the temperature control heads with it. You don't get any cancel heads with it, though. That is a con. So probably if I would be not sure about temperature control vaping, I wouldn't buy it because there are no cancel head in there. There's an Ego 1 CT coming, which is basically controlled temperature, so temperature control. I would rather buy that one than this because it got the cancel head with it. So it is kind of like it's giving you the opportunity to use temperature control, but it is not forcing you. This one is forcing you, really. Next thing, nickel. I think it is completely irresponsible to put nickel heads in there. Nickel is poison, as I told you, so please don't vape on nickel. Only use titanium, which I got in here as well. So, although this device is nothing for me, I would definitely recommend it to a newbie vapor or an intermediate vapor, because you can't do much wrong with it. It's protected against all sorts of things you can do to it. So in the end, I recommend this thing to every newbie and intermediate vapor, as I said. I got nothing much more to say except for, if you liked it, please like it. Leave a comment, it really helps me out, it helps you out, and it might help other people out. And if you would subscribe, it would be great and make my day. Thank you for watching.